York. Okay, I hope that works for everyone. So I think we should just get started if everybody's okay with that. The plan is that I'm going to run through a presentation. We will hear from a number of different people who are part of our wonderful and supportive and vibrant ecosystem here in New York. And then we will have some time at the end for Q&A, and we will also have some time at the end for emerging clean tech startups to introduce yourselves and tell your story. So stay tuned for your cue on that. Meanwhile, I will just, let's see if I can find my presentation here. Give me a moment, and we'll just get started. Oops, I have too many things open here. I apologize. Okay. All right. So anyway, welcome everybody. We are here for the 2021 Cleantech Open kickoff with New York, as I said, and I am going to move a couple of things around and give you my presentation. All right, here goes. So super exciting. Lots of people should be joining as we speak, and very dynamic group here. I am the Senior Director of Cleantech Open here in the Northeast. We actually have our National Executive Director here, and that's Ken Hayes. So hi, Ken, glad you could join us today. And if you want to turn on your mic and say hi for 1 second.
Well, thank you, Beth. Hello, everybody. I wish this were in person because I was in Boston last week where Beth and her team put on a great event at Greentown Labs, and congrats on the kickoff in New York today. And just looking forward to seeing so many of you, Tim Hoffman, the Metro Director in New York, as well as many others of you that are participating in Cleantech Open, and to the entrepreneurs out there, welcome. Just let you know that we support you as well from the national organization, and are looking forward to having a great season this year.
Excellent, perfect. Thank you very much, Ken, and welcome. Ken hails from California, in case anybody was wondering. So here's the story. What I'm going to do is run through a little bit about what we do and who we are. So Cleantech Open is a national accelerator. I run the Northeast region, based out of the Boston area, but Northeast is a bit of an important region here in our country. So the Northeast in our current situation includes from Eastern Canada, Maine, south through Pennsylvania. So let me get right into it. So first of all, let me introduce my team. So I am Beth Zonis, and my colleague Tally Kane is our program manager, and she is sadly leaving tomorrow. So we have really enjoyed working with Tally. Thank you very much for all your great work, Tally. And we are welcoming Skelly Holmbeck as our interim program manager. And she is quickly coming up to speed as she has been a lead mentor with Cleantech Open and already being very helpful. And Safia Elmi is our spring program coordinator here, visiting on a co-op from Northeastern University. So you'll recognize the faces. So NECC runs the Cleantech Open here in the Northeast. NECC stands for Northeast Clean Energy Council. NECC is a program that is specifically designed to make it easy for people to do business in the Northeast in this sector. And we really focus on two things. One is innovation, which is where we sit. And on the other side, it's about policy and regulatory work, which really makes it easier for us to get the right policies in place. And I like to say it's like laying the green carpet for our clean tech companies. So without further ado, I do want to introduce you to our New York Metro Director. Tim Hoffman has been and continues to be an awesome partner in New York. He runs he's the program director for the NYSERDA EIR program, and he sits at Columbia University. He runs the Columbia technology ventures there and wears many hats. So he works with us in his spare time and really helps us to build the ecosystem in New York. I want to turn it over to you, Tim, to say a few words about your work and Cleantech Open.
Thank you, Beth. And you can tell from that picture how long I've been involved in the Cleantech Open before and after. We come here for different reasons, but for a common purpose, and that's to save the world. I think we can agree that the greatest challenges of the 21st century represent tremendous business opportunities as well. The Cleantech Open, we foster an ecosystem in which, like other ecosystems, we look to contribute, collaborate, and compete. And I'm sure you'll be hearing more about those aspects of the program as you hear from other speakers this evening. At the Cleantech Open, we seek to transform good ideas into strong business plans and solid companies into funded ones. The beauty of our ecosystem is that we're able to unlock the talent of dedicated mentors and the entire community in New York City and the Northeast and indeed across the entire country to help you accelerate on your path to commercial success. But as with any program, what you get out of the Cleantech Open is a function of what you put into it. So those companies that are fortunate enough to get into the Cleantech Open, I would encourage you to use the mentoring as much as possible, connect with as many experts as are made available to you, attend every workshop. And if you do all these things, you're going to significantly advance your business and perhaps shave years off of your development process. So I hope you will join our ecosystem and contribute, collaborate, and compete. Thank you.
Great, very wise words from Tim. Thank you very much. And we'll move right along. So as I said at the beginning, if you are an emerging clean tech startup, let us know if you would like to tell us a little bit about yourself. You can message Tally Kane in the chat, and she will help us set up a little run of who is going to give 1 minute pitch. This is not a competition, okay? This is really just for you to say, hi, my name is so-and-so, and here's what I'm working on. We just want to know who you are. We help you with your pitch in the Cleantech Open, so you don't need to worry about whether you are starting with a perfect pitch. If you are, we may not need to work together if you have it all set up. So we do want to see what it is that you're working with, what you're working on, and what we might be able to do to help. So I also want to mention that we have a fabulous group of sponsors who sponsor the Cleantech Open here in the Northeast. Without our sponsors, we would not be able to do what we do. In the Northeast, we have our two main sponsors are Mass CEC and NYSERDA. We'll hear from NYSERDA shortly. These are organizations that are essentially in charge of the energy transition in their respective states. We also have a new sponsor, which is not yet on this sponsor shield, National Grid, and we have a couple of representatives from National Grid who are here to say hello. So we will hear from them. And the Sire Foundation is also a gold sponsor with us. The Sire Foundation is sponsoring 2 special awards this year, one for ag, food, and land use, and the other for carbon sequestration. So the idea of these awards is you go through the program and you are judged at the end once you graduate. We also have some other government entities. Canada is the Canadian Consulate in New York. NJEDA is the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. We also work with several law firms, from Foley Hoag, which is a general firm, Sunstein, which focuses on IP, and then you'll see Schneider Electric is a energy company. AGC is Asahi Glass Company, so they work with some specialty materials. Citi is Citibank, and we will hear from Citibank today. Chubb is the insurance company. Constellation is an energy company. Novartis is pharma, and Xylem is water tech. On the right side, you'll see a number of different organizations listed here that are in-kind sponsors. Collectively, they are providing over $300,000 worth of goods and services to our startups. So if you are interested in any of these, you're in the right place. Basically, they're offering consulting, incubator space, software, and in some cases, reimbursement opportunities, which I can get into if you're interested. What qualifies as clean tech? In our world, it's pretty much anything. What we like to say is that if you are providing a benefit to the environment, we will consider what you have to offer. So don't worry about fitting into one category. Many of our startups fit into multiple categories or kind of straddle in between a couple. That's fine. But we are increasingly seeing more startups in the quote unquote less traditional categories like ag, water, and waste, as well as chemicals and advanced materials. Transportation is a really important area. And then of course, the ones that are maybe more traditional are on the left side: energy generation, energy distribution and storage, energy efficiency, green building, and of course, information and communications technology is everywhere. So, so what is it that we do? And what do you get when you participate in Cleantech Open? It is a very rigorous program. We provide training in the form of lots of events. We provide an online curriculum, lots of coaching. And then in the mentorship box here, you are matched with several mentors who work with you throughout the program. And in many cases, they continue to work with you if you establish that relationship and there's mutual interest. Many mentors will continue to stay in touch with the startups after Cleantech Open. The mentoring is often considered the best part because these people end up being like your advisory board as you go through the program. Access to capital refers to introductions to investors and potential customers. We have an investor and partner connect toward the end of the program, and there are investors and customers of all types who participate in various ways throughout the program as well. At the end, we have some prizes, so you can compete for cash prizes at the regional level as well as at the national level, and we'll get into that shortly. So what's the schedule? April 17th is the most important date to know right now. April 17th is the final application deadline. My very strong recommendation is to get started now if you haven't already. It will take a little bit of time to think through how you will answer the questions. So don't let that go until the last minute. It's on purpose that we make it a bit interactive for you and your team to think through how you're going to answer the questions in our application. In May, we select the cohort and we will make introductions to mentors. And in June, we have a 3-day National Academy. It doesn't go all day for 3 days, but it's partial day for 3 days. And then June through September, we have business clinics, many webinars on various topics. And then in September, we will have our regional finals for the Northeast here in the Boston area. And then Ken can tell me the exact dates. I think they've just been decided, or maybe they're in the works for the Global Forum, which will be, Ken, when is that?
Well, we're planning to have it in conjunction with the Verge 22 conference in San Jose, October 24th to the 27th.
Okay, so once that's confirmed, we'll change that on our documents here. But suffice it to say that everything will be virtual from now through September through September until the regional finals, and everything is private for the cohort from May through September 27th. This is meant to be a safe space for you to work on your startup and to try things, to stress test what you're working on, et cetera. So what do you have to do? You have to create business deliverables and produce these throughout the program. I would say probably about one a week. So we start with customer discovery. You will we'll draft a business model canvas and continue to update that business model canvas, which is essentially a short form of a business model throughout the program as you learn different things. So we'll work on value propositions, we'll work on sustainability strategy and team building strategy and how to talk with investors. All these different things come in and will help you establish your message, how you're going to manage the various risks, and how you're going to grow your organization and make it successful. Toward the end of the program, you then have all these materials that you can then use to run your business. I'm going to take a moment and just tell you what GHG ERP is, because that's the only acronym in here. GHG ERP stands for Greenhouse Gas Emissions Reduction Potential. This is a program that we started in 2021, last year, with NYSERDA. It's a program for enabling our startups to calculate their emissions reduction potential. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how that went, but this is a way to give our startups a bit of an edge in the market, especially when talking with investors in our space. So how are we doing? Well, in 2020, we did an assessment of our Northeast alumni. At the time, we had 414 alumni, 68% were still in business, earning $279 million a year, and having raised $653 million. We believe that these numbers are actually conservative, or otherwise known as low. We believe that they're much higher. It's hard to get this data. We currently have, as of adding in the last couple of cohorts, we now have 523 alumni. And I just did a calculation yesterday, by the way, that of all of the female entrepreneurs, they have raised $185 million. So I believe that these numbers are much higher. But in any event, they are employing, or we're employing 3,300 people. And in terms of diversity, we are at about 62% of our startups having either a female or a minority founder. And you can see that we have pretty decent sized cohorts, over 100 startups nationwide. We had last year, we had 44 startups graduate. We had started out with matching close to 200 mentors. We had 196 mentors matched to these teams. It was a lot of mentors here in the Northeast. And then there's even more in across the rest of the whole US. So greenhouse gas emissions. Last year, we added them all up and we said in aggregate, or they told us that in aggregate, they predict 101 million metric tons of CO2 equivalent per year when they're at scale is how much they will reduce. This refers to the 44 graduating startups from last year. That's a lot, and that is every year. So that is equivalent to taking 22 million cars off the road. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the next cohorts will do, but also how the past cohorts are currently doing. And we're really looking forward to seeing all of this actually play out. So what are some of the highlights? Last year, we started a program on diversity, equity, and inclusion, working with a group called Browning the Green Space on how to build diversity, equity, and inclusion into the culture of your startup from the beginning. We also have some new prizes in addition to the greenhouse gas emissions reduction, which I already talked about. So that's another highlight. The cash prizes, we have in the Northeast, $60,000 divided by 6. That includes 4 general prizes and 2 specialty prizes, which I mentioned before, plus over $300,000 worth of goods and services. And then at the national level, there's another $50,000 prize. So there's a fair amount of money available for the startups, but the real thing is building your business. And we do the prizes in order to keep things interesting and to give those startups that extra attention in the market to give you that extra boost. So how much does it cost for you? We do not take any equity. We charge $75 per team to apply and $1,350 per team to participate. This is a significant discount over what it costs us. It's heavily subsidized. The actual cost is $6,000 per team, and the value is significantly more than that. So I'll continue on with this. So what do we look for in your application? We look for market, solution, and team, which means, is there a market for your solution? Is there a significant need for it? Is it important? Is it currently being addressed? What is the solution that you are offering? Does it look like it could work? Will it actually satisfy the need that you have identified? And what about your team? Does it look like your team, do we believe that your team could actually do what you say you're going to do? And do we think that you will benefit from participating in the Cleantech Open? And do we think that mentors will enjoy working with you? So I'm happy to discuss this with you. This is on the website as well. So now I want to introduce you all to some of our favorite people who are based in New York and who have participated in Cleantech Open in different ways. So the first three, Eric, Claudia, and Jeff, are all alumni of Cleantech Open. And Sheikh is a mentor. He happens to be a co-chair of our mentor committee. And I want to introduce Eric first. So Eric Nozier is a Cleantech Open alum from 2020. He was a national finalist as well as a Northeast finalist. His company is called Clip. I'm going to introduce everybody and then I'll just turn it over to them one by one. Claudia Maldonado went through the program in 2020 as well. And she was a Northeast finalist with her company Atravita Science. And she'll tell you about what she's working on. Jeff Prosserman was a alum from last year. His company is called Voltpost. And I mentioned about Sheikh. He's a lead mentor as well as co-chair of our mentor committee. So I'm going to stop sharing. And if Eric is here, you can take the stage and tell us a little bit about what you do. Is Eric here? Okay, if Eric is not here, we'll go right to Claudia. Claudia, are you here?
I am here. Hello.
Hi there. Good to see you.
Thanks for inviting me. So my name is Claudia Maldonado, and I'm founder and CEO of Atravita Science. As Beth said, we went through Cleantech Open in 2020, and honestly, it was our first accelerator experience. So we got really lucky. Didn't have to sift through many to get to a really good one. And basically, let me back up and tell you what we do. So we're in New York, and we are a spin out from the University at Buffalo. And we are developing aerodynamic models and new blade designs for the offshore wind industry. And so, what we're talking about is a blade design that is not incremental. It's actually a transformational step up to a whole new rotor system that can change its shape based on the wind conditions. So that's something that today's technology can't do, even though it's great technology. It's about 40 years old and cannot have that capability right now with those designs. So that's what we're working on. And I guess, Beth, you wanted me to talk a little bit about our experience through Cleantech Open. So yes. There were a lot of things about it that I can say in the short amount of time I have. First of all, there's some really good, I'm just going to start with the sort of the work, okay, the homework. There's some really good deliverables in there, and they're due every week or so, but they're extremely important, and we still refer back to them. We still update them. We still use them. Things like our sustainability statement, our financial projections, a lot of customer discovery, and stuff to help us prepare to do a better job and do more of it. And so that was all a really great experience. The mentor network that we had was incredible. They were steadfast supporters. They were consistent every week in showing up. And that's really important because everybody's got busy schedules. And if you get off schedule one week, it can really, kill the momentum. But they were there. If all four of them went there, at least one or two were there. In most cases, 3 or 4 were there. So it was a really good, synergy with them. And they provided a lot of networking and opportunity to talk to their people, developers, OEMs, and we still talk to some of those people. And that's part of the beauty of this, is that there's so many connections that are made that 2 years later, I'm still seeing that. And that's why I said earlier, we got very lucky because it was a very good experience. And it led to other good things
Fine.
too.
Thank you so much, Claudia.
Okay, sorry about that. I think you're on mute.
Since Eric's not here, why don't you just finish your sentence?
Okay, so I think some of the other things we're working on that have moved on from this is that after we left Cleantech Open, we did another accelerator, Venture for Climate Tech, another great experience that helped us, really prepare for that. And then we are in the DOE Solar Prize, which has been another great experience. And then we even got another DoD Air Force contract. And all of that I attribute to a lot of the work and the deliverables and the pitch practice and the Q&A preparation that we did, that we got through Cleantech Open. And then just some of the people I still connect with all the time, other startup mentors, startup founders and other mentors. So it was a really good experience for us.
Thank you very much, Claudia. It's great to see you and to hear your story. And I'd love to turn it over to Jeff Prosserman. And Jeff, if you want to maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, but also give some pointers for the next cohort. That would be great.
Sure thing. Well, first, great to see you all here and encourage you all to apply to CTO. It was really a incredible experience for the Voltpost team and building our business. We participated in the accelerator last year, and really it helped validate the business case, the market, and opportunity as an early stage company here in New York. Just to give background, Voltpost is developing a solution to retrofit existing lamppost technology into EV chargers and selling into cities and working with the utilities. Just having the network comes with Cleantech Open and the sponsors really just was amazing insight to kind of fast track some of our development. Excuse me. Since going through the program, I actually participated in the same cohort of Venture for Climate Tech with Claudia last year. Great to see you, and great to see Tim, Beth, and other friendly faces, and for your support with the program at large, and Ken as well. But at this point, we've closed oversubscribed pre-seed round of financing, thanks to the support of Cleantech Open, the mentors and community around that, and have a team in New York, San Francisco, and a few people distributing now, building the product as we explore pilots going into the second half of this year. So would 100% recommend you apply. It's been a great experience for our team and the relationships you build. You'll hear from Shek shortly. So actually was one of our lead mentors. I think won Mentor of the Year last year with CTO, and has actually become an advisor to our company since then. So the relationships live above and beyond just what happens in the walls of the program. So thank you all again. And also feel free as you go through the program. It's an open door, happy to connect with anybody.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Really appreciate your words. And Ken is posting some things about Jeff in the chat if you want to see. There's been some great press about Voltpost. So I want to turn it over to Sheikh Drameh to tell a little bit about your experience with Cleantech Open. We really appreciate your service. So go ahead. You're mute.
Can you hear me? Fantastic. All right, thank you, Beth. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sheikh Drameh, and as Jeff mentioned, I mentored Voltpost team last year. It was really a great experience, and I'm so excited to be involved as part of the advisory board of Voltpost, as they keep on their journey on developing their technology and commercializing it. One thing I want to echo on is what Tim had mentioned earlier at the start of it is really, for startups, the experience that you get out of Cleantech Open is really a function of what you put into it, right? How engaged you are, how committed you are to meeting those deliverables, but also making sure that you leverage also the amazing caliber of diversity of mentorship that you have within the program. And that's where I think one of the greatest strength is, with Cleantech Open. So make sure you remain engaged with the mentors. We are volunteers, but we are also here to make sure that we support you. Either it is, through meeting some of the deliverables that you have, helping you kind of understand how to meet those deliverables specific to Cleantech Open, but also when you're looking at exploring opportunities to kind of network, within the Cleantech space. You do not only have, the 3 to 4 mentors that are matched with you to kind of, help you navigate through that ecosystem, but also, you have a greater mentor communities that you can also tap into. And that's really, the great kind of positive of being involved in Cleantech Open. So for me personally, professionally, I work at National Grid. I work within the regulated side of the business in market development within the customer organization. And I've been involved with Cleantech. This is going to be my 3rd year returning, and I look forward to returning many, many more years because, there are great learning opportunities going both ways, I would say, with mentors learning about Cleantech startup, but also giving back to the Cleantech startups. And, what I would conclude with is, make sure you remain engaged and reach out to your mentor network and make the best out of this experience.
Great. Thank you very much, Sheikh. We really, really appreciate everything that you do. And I am going to continue my little story here about Cleantech Open and our friends. So I have 3 people that I'm going to introduce you all to shortly. And I'll give you a quick introduction of each one of them, and then I'll stop sharing. So the first one is Jamie Dickerson, who is the Chief of Staff at NYSERDA. So Jamie's going to tell a little bit about NYSERDA's involvement with Cleantech Open. They really help to make our program better every year. And thank you very much for all you do. Candace Hewitt is Vice President with the City Impact Fund, and we're really pleased to have you here today to tell a little bit about what you do and why you're sponsoring Cleantech Open. And Alana Russo is the Director of Strategic Engagement and Offshore Wind Development at National Grid Ventures, which is a brand new sponsor of Cleantech Open Northeast. And we're excited to have all of you, all based in New York, supporting Cleantech Open startups all over, but especially in New York. So I'm going to turn it over to Jamie first. So Jamie, the floor is yours.
Excellent. Thank you, Beth, and good afternoon to everyone joining virtually today, wherever you are. I'm coming from Troy, New York, and hopefully hopefully things find you well wherever you are. So yeah, as Beth said, my name is Jamie Dickerson. I have the distinct honor really of serving as Chief of Staff at NYSERDA, which is the New York State Energy Research and Development Authority. We've been around for a while, since the 70s, and we've evolved as a public institution over the years into really what is now essentially New York State's clean energy agency. We're a public authority, and we really work in a myriad of ways to combat climate change through both innovation and deployment activities, and really to drive economic investment in New York State and try to deliver the benefits of acting on climate change equitably to the communities all across the many corners of New York State. And I did want to say on a personal note, I also am a former member of the NECC policy team that Beth alluded to earlier. So lots of common roots and mutual connections, which is great in this big state, small world ecosystem. So I will try and be brief. Normally I would say, give me the Oscars music when you need me to wrap up, but I'm not sure that has the same connotation anymore after this weekend. But yeah, NYSERDA, we have been a longtime sponsor of Cleantech Open Northeast, and more broadly of numerous efforts to continue cultivating and nurturing the climate tech ecosystem here in New York State. And by the way, I do want to acknowledge the fellow sponsors here on the call from National Grid, City, and others. It's great to be here with you, and also to hear about the testimonials from participants in years past. I definitely, if nothing else, would really want to encourage any company or group of founders that's considering participating in Cleantech Open to do so this year. It really will pay dividends and drive value for your company's efforts in the near, medium, and long term. We certainly believe that. And selfishly, this being the New York kickoff event, we at NYSERDA, and I think common to many on this call, we really want you to establish and help solidify your presence here in New York State. We do believe that our corner of this regional ecosystem is especially vibrant, and certainly here at NYSERDA, we have a number of complementary programs and offerings to help bring to bear through our innovation team. And that's really regardless of what sector you're in, but certainly in advanced clean buildings and renewable optimization and energy storage and smart grid, clean transportation, in hydrogen. You may have seen a big announcement from us last week on that front, but in carbon tech and lots of great stuff in between those categories. So maybe just to wrap up, I'd zoom out to the sort of 10,000 foot view and really just try and impress upon you the critical moment that we're in here in New York, as Tim alluded to earlier, and by the same virtue, the critical role that companies like yourselves can and will help play in New York State's future. In 2019, hopefully most, if not all of you know that New York State passed the Climate Leadership and Community Protection Act. That is a law that sets into law New York State's 30-year journey to reduce economy-wide emissions at least 85% by 2050 and really seek carbon neutrality economy-wide. That means we've got 6 million plus buildings to decarbonize, millions of vehicles to do the same, an enormously important electric grid and independent system operator to decarbonize and to keep the lights on, for the city that never sleeps. But it's not just a technocratic challenge of decarbonization, right? It's also supporting jobs and economic growth. It's building an inclusive clean energy economy, one that actually can deliver the benefits of these solutions equitably to all corners of our state. It's navigating massive infrastructure transitions that will have to unfold, like the gas distribution system. And it's about fostering healthy and resilient communities in every pocket of our state. So as bullish as I am about our ability to achieve our climate goals, we also know for sure that, we're going to need the help of pretty much any and every new and improved technology solution and business model that's going to help us pursue the path of greatest benefits, of least cost, of maximum resilience, maximum improvements to the day-to-day lives of New Yorkers, which is sort of fundamentally what we're all about. So I wish you the best of luck. I also pass along one more encouragement to participate in this year's program, and certainly do consider NYSERDA a partner and a resource in your efforts as well. Back to you, Beth.
Great, thank you very much, Jeremy. And I'm glad you pointed out that we used to be colleagues at NECC. So it's great to have you supporting us, and thank you very, very much. I'm going to turn it over to Candace. Candace Hewitt, you're on.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are, and it's a pleasure to be here with you in support of the Cleantech Open Accelerator. It's really a pleasure. This is City's first year officially sponsoring the Cleantech Open, and we're doing that on behalf of the City Impact Fund. So I'm a member of the investment team with the City Impact Fund. The fund itself is a 2-year-old impact VC fund, if you will, that was driven off of City's balance sheet out of City's enterprise larger goals around environmental and sustainable financing, as well as the firm's focus on action for racial equity. So as a part of the Impact Fund, delivering on behalf of those broader city mandates to really create and foster positive change in the world, our fund is focused on entities that can scale to deliver on double bottom line benefits. And we do that across a few different vertical thematic areas, but certainly core to that, one of them is sustainability. And so, I'm just excited to hear more throughout this season from the companies that will be involved in this program, and really appreciate the alignment that we see in Cleantech Open's curriculum for its participants. Citi itself, in terms of how the Impact Fund thinks about our investments, we look for companies as a bank that are a little bit later stage, if you will, that have already proven revenue and market fit. So we can't always be at the table to support small fledgling companies that are really at that starter stage where some of you all are. And so our way of doing that is to engage with our ecosystem partners like Cleantech Open to be a supporter and to engage with your entrepreneurs as mentors and as investors along the way, to provide you with some insight in terms of our perspective, what we're looking at in companies, but also just to provide that general dialogue that, yes, this is a two-way street, and we do expect to be learning from you, as well as giving back however possible through our team's expertise and the opportunity to provide an interesting investor vantage point for you to tap into. So best of luck to you all.
Thank you very much, Candace. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I do want to let everybody know we have apologies from our friend Alana Russo at National Grid. She got pulled away into another meeting, so she won't be able to join us, but maybe next time. So what I want to do next is actually just cut right over to my colleague, Tally Kane. I believe that Tally is collecting a list of people who have indicated some interest in giving a 1-minute pitch. This is not a competition. This is really the opportunity for you to tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're working on, and give us a sense of whether you might be an interesting person for us to work with. Not that you're all not interesting, but we want to know what you're working on, who you are, and no pressure. Because as you may know, we do help our startups with the whole pitch and everything that goes behind it. So if you give us a terrible pitch, then you might actually be a really great candidate for Cleantech Open. Ken's laughing. So I really just want to take the pressure off. That was the whole point of that comment. Anyway, Tally, do you want to take over and call up whoever is interested? And if you are interested, please feel free to raise your hand and or to put a note in the chat.
Yes. Hello, everyone. We have, I think, 3 people pitching now. I think we just added one to our list. We'll start with Tanya Couture with West. I think it would be West by East is how I would read that.
Correct. West by East. Hey, everyone. I'm Tanya Couture, co-founder and CEO of West by East, the world's first AI-powered design platform for custom fit ethnic clothing. We are a vertically integrated platform that delivers personalized and size-inclusive garments at an accessible price point. We're addressing the fastest growing diaspora, the South Asian diaspora, with the $10 billion North American addressable market. Well over 135,000 South Asian weddings and festivals like Holi, Diwali, Eid happen every year in North America, with thousands spent on traditional garments. The experience of shopping for these clothes is difficult due to a supply chain issue and a lack of modern production pipelines. Our solution is a seamless virtual experience that is transparent, reliable, and can be done from the comfort of the customer's home to avoid carbon footprint. We are developing the future of green manufacturing through a smart factory in partnership with Lectra and Gerber Technology. This allows us to become zero waste, zero inventory, and as fast as a 1-week turnaround time. Our big vision is to expand into all diasporas so we can fulfill our mission to preserve cultural heritage through clothing. Thank you.
Really interesting, Tanya. Thank you for your pitch. Who's next, Tally?
Yes, and up next we have Matthew Tate with Reelastics Company. Are you still on, Matthew?
Yes.
Yep.
Hello,
There you
everyone,
are.
and thank you very much. for this opportunity as well. So my name is Matthew Tate, and I currently intern for Elastics Company. So we know that plastic waste is an enormous problem we have in the United States. About 40 megatons generated, up from 35 in 2017. So the question that Elastics Company asks is not what we can do about plastic waste, but what can we do with plastic waste? Our new approach takes a lot of the energy intensive and chemical intensive, as well as material intensive properties of plastic that are incorporated into a lot of customized materials that we often see in the building processes. And we take that to produce our own green building materials. The green building trend has been developing as slowly as fast as ever. And now we take a lot of the certifications like LEED, as well as other certifications to put into test this plastic materials. So essentially we're creating plastic building materials that are light and economical, contribute to a building green certification, fully recyclable, and capitalize on the trend of plastic credits. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Matthew. Really great to hear what you're working on. And I think we have somebody else who may want to pitch.
One more, Theo Stewart Stand with your sensor water faucet system.
Hi, my name is Theo Stewart Stand. I have a project which it's been a slow moving project in terms of a sensor water fountain, which I've attached to fire hydrants in the past. And with the advent of COVID, having access to water for washing your hands or for hot days, I live in New York City, so the water is pretty decent coming out of the hydrants. And I made a pitch to the Parks Department, and I have one fire hydrant that's ready to go in Flushing Meadow, Corona Park, to test it out. And I have actually tested it out at the Grand Army Plaza Farmers Market for just water access, because I know people have responded favorably to it. But I don't know if it's really something that's more of a passion project, or if it's something that I could actually make into a viable business. I know that as far as like scaling this up for concerts or whatnot, or outdoor venues, it'd be very effective. And it's it runs for about a 6-second cycle and then shuts off. So I have videos to show, but that would be for the main pitch. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Theo. Great to hear what you're working on. I believe that you are like a serial entrepreneur. I think we've seen you here before doing different things. Very cool stuff. So is there anyone else who would like to pitch? Any others? Maybe not. While you're thinking about it, I want to invite our alum, Eric Noziere, who was able to join us. So Eric, if you would like to say a few words about your experience with Cleantech Open and what you're up to these days with CLIP, and any recommendations you have for the next cohort of Cleantech Open, we are interested to hear.
All right. Hi. Yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me, Beth, team. Pleasure to come back. I think we were in the Cleantech Open already 2 years ago. We had some great mentoring and experiencing all the different steps, the 10 steps that the Cleantech Open is taking the cohort through. So very quick intro about myself. I'm the CFO of Clip.bike. Clip is a clean mobility consumer tech startup based in Brooklyn. We are launching Clip, which is a device that allows you to motorize any regular bike into an electric bike instantly, something you just clip on the front fork. It's affordable, it's lightweight, it's portable, and it's universal. So it fits any adult size bag and goes on the front fork. So I don't have pictures to share with you, but if you go on Instagram, you will see that we are commercializing it. So it's coming from now it's a reality. Of course, COVID and all the supply chain disruption hasn't helped much on the hardware side, on the manufacturing side, but we made it. The production now is coming from India. We managed to get some of the parts from China, but everything is commercialized here in the US. And we have 50 more units coming as I speak, 100 next month, and we are starting to build 2,000. Our plans for this year is to sell 5,000. Hopefully, we're not too ambitious, but keep in mind that the market is huge. There is maybe 170 million existing bikes in the US, 20 bikes sold every year, and the mix of e-bikes is just increasing dramatically in the US and of course in Europe, which is our two key markets. So that's a quick introduction about Clip. As any decent startup, we're always raising. So now we're in a pre-series A fundraise that we hope to close in April and May. It's going to help us to build these 2,000 units. We already have purchased a few of the parts and inventory, but we need to build more and also build a marketing campaign through social media and hopefully more offline events now that life is coming back to normal. And so I would say for all the startups here in the cohort, I think you're going to have a great time. You're going to be challenged, as you should be. One of the key tech is trying to understand your market, trying to really understand whether who your customers are. So you're going to have to go through interviews. It's not natural because you believe that you have the right product for the right market, but it's definitely something you need to understand. First of all, it will allow you to frame your mission, make it very simple, and also validate the fact that the market you are in and your targets. Also, the Cleantech Open will help you in terms of business model. It will help you in terms of patents, differentiation, etc. All the good things that you need to learn through the process. I would say it was extremely valuable for us. We are also lucky to go to the final, the national final, which is always a good recognition. And as a final word, I think the team has been outstanding to help us from Eastern, of course, with Beth and her team, and on the national level as well. So just a quick word, and of course, open to questions if you have any.
Great. Thank you, Eric. It's great to see you, and congratulations on all the wonderful things that you've been able to do with Clip. And I'm going to, I want to hear more stories later, but I do want to share 2 more slides with everybody, which is essentially two links that you should all commit to memory. Again, I mentioned that April 17th is our application deadline. Make sure to apply, get started on your application as soon as possible. It's cleantechopen.org. I also wanted to make sure that you see our media kit. There's a lot of information in there. If you didn't get a chance to pitch today and you are working up your nerve to do such a thing, come to one of our following upcoming events. And there's also a ton of information in there about the prizes, the awards, the schedule, etc. So bit.ly/CTOMK 2022. And maybe Safia or someone could put that in the chat. And I want to thank you all for attending. And we have a couple of minutes. I can turn off the presentation here. And if anyone wants to, we can stop recording. And if anyone wants to